Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Jumpware. Today we will describe how to prepare a resume. There is no much difference between the resume for a fresher or an experience except for a couple of areas here and there. I am sure 90% of the people do not prepare their resume from scratch. So today we will teach you how to make a resume from scratch. But even before you prepare your resume, I would like to point out on some simple mistakes what people do which can be easily eliminated while preparing the resume. Now, these are one thing. First point being grammar errors or spelling mistakes. Yes, if you cannot make a resume without any grammar issues or without any spelling mistakes, then interviewer will feel that you're not capable of performing any jobs for that matters, right? Secondly, it's an usual practice when freshers or people who are desperately looking for job send an email to multiple recipients of multiple HR of multiple companies, right? That should never be the case. At a given point of time, you should mail the resume only to one person. Next point is a body of the email. When you mail a resume to someone, just don't write, "Hi, please find the attached resume." Write some content. Describe some small statements like, okay, I have 2 years experience, or I have expertise in this technology. I have done a small hobby project in this particular technology. I have an internship experience in this particular technology. Write something so that it will create an interest in the interviewer to actually click on that attachment. Or else the interviewer or the HR will get a lot of resumes on a daily basis into his email box, which is clearly flushed out or not even open. So you gotta make your body of the email, the subject of the email really interesting so that the interviewer get interested in learning. Fourth point is ignoring keywords. Now keywords might be something you might be wondering, what is this keywords all about, right? Now, just to tell you a secret behind what happens when you upload a resume in the job portal, right? So when you upload a resume, the HR will not come to know that you have uploaded, because you're not someone like a CEO or something like that, right? You are just another fresher. There are so many freshers who have uploaded their resume. Now when the HR comes and imagine he is looking for a fresher who have some experience in Java, right? So obviously he will have a filter option, just like how we do filtering the products in the e-commerce websites. He'll have an option to filter based on experience, based on year of pass out, based on grades of the college, based on the marks of the students. He'll also have a search box where he search based on the keywords. Let's say, for example, in this case he was looking for Java experience guys or Java expertise guys. So he will enter the word Java in the search and search for it. Obviously a lot of resumes will come. Now if your resume had some occurrences of the word Java, your resume would be matching. If it is not there, it would not match. So try to add more and more keywords into your resume. I'll teach you how exactly you can do that. Fifthly, there's a personal section at the end, where you write your hobbies and things like that. But frankly speaking, no one is much concerned about it unless it's a job wherein you have to show your creativity or something like that, right? Next point is, don't use a lot of singular tone when I, me. It's more like boasting, and HRs or interviewer usually don't like to hear something like that. So avoid as much as I, me, she, my in the resume, as well as while you're talking or interacting with the recruiter. And next point guys, be a little professional while you're creating an email ID. If your current email ID is really funky, cool, you stay with it. But while you're preparing the resume, while you're sending the resume to the recruiter, prepare a better email ID and then send through that. It could be as simple as your first name dot second name at yahoo.com, or first name dot your place name or area name or your surname, something like that, which is very simple and small and easy to remember. Please follow that. Next point, please don't put Facebook, Instagram email ID. No one is concerned about it. It's not professional ethics. Yes, if your LinkedIn profile, only and only if the LinkedIn profile is looking really neat and clean and you have updated your LinkedIn profile up to date, only then you add your LinkedIn profile. If you're applying for technical related jobs and if you are someone who have contributed something in GitHub, adding a GitHub link is really valuable. but make sure that there's something valuable for an HR or an technical panel to go there and look into it, right? And lastly, please don't add photos of yourself. And it's always a debatable point whether to add photo or not, but unless and until the interviewer asks for a photo to be added in the resume, kindly do not add, because it can send all possible wrong signals. Yeah. Now let's quickly get into the action, guys. So here I have a plain document where I'm yet to start writing. Now to start with, obviously first your name, your phone number and your email ID. Yes, that's right. Your address need not come here. Anything else need not come here. The first three things that an interviewer looks at is these: the name, email ID and the phone number, so that they can reach out to you anytime. And then of course, just to make it look neat and clean, I've added one line. And next comes the objective or the aim. Now you can write anything you want, but I have come up with something like this, wherein it showcases your interest in the organization as well as what benefit the company will get because of you, right? Now few people say that your objective does not matter, but since it's been a standard practice that we have been doing it, I would request you to add it up at the first place. This is one more secret that I've understood taking a lot of interviews, especially from freshers. They don't know what they have written in their objective because they have simply copied their resume from someone else, right? So please know what you have written in your objective. Else, if you're unlucky and if you have a bad interviewer like me, I can end up asking, what is your objective? And if you say something else and compared to what you have written, then I would know that you have copy pasted, and then there would be a questions around that. So to avoid that, right, please go through your objective once. Next comes your education information. You can just make a simple table structure just to make it look clean and neat, and add information like which degree, which college, and what's your percentage. Now as a fresher, this becomes very important because companies come up with filter criteria of various percentages and marks, right? So that's where this becomes a major important role, and they also kind of check whether you are really a good academician or not, right? So moving on, next important thing is your technical skill. Now remember guys, I told you about keywords, right? Now this particular resume I have prepared with respect to a technology called Python, right? So I've made sure that the word Python is coming here. Now Python is always associated with the Django framework, so even that is coming here. When it comes to database, Postgres and SQLite are two important databases that a lot of developers work these days. So I have mentioned all those technical keywords that I have used in my maybe project work, or maybe internship work, or maybe hobby project, right? Another thing, if you notice here in my programming languages, I do not have something like .NET, Java. This is a big no, guys. This is definitely a big no. You cannot master multiple backend programming languages at a given time. You should always concentrate on one programming language. Could it be C++ alone, or could it be .NET alone, or could it be Java alone, or could it be Python or PHP or Node.js? Anything, but only one programming language at a time, right? That way you can be more focused on it than writing average of all, right? So other tools, if I have used since I've used Sublime Text Editor, I've written about that. Operating system, if you worked on Linux, then great. You can even mention which version you have worked on. That kind of gives detailed information to the interviewer, saying that yes, you are aware of what you have written here, right? And other technical support activities, if you're good at OS installation or network troubleshooting, or if you are good with some process like agile process, or if you have been a part of some forum where you follow standards, you can write that. After this is where your actual play arena comes into picture, where you write about your college project, or if you have done your internship, you can write about your internship. If you have done some courses online, you can write about that. If you have done some certification, you can write about that. Or if you have some GitHub code that you have written yourself, you can mention about that. In this particular case, I had an internship experience, and hence I have written about that. You can clearly mention which company, what was your role, from which period to what period, right? And then maybe you can mention about the details of the project that you've written. Now, when you're writing the detail of the project, remember guys, you got to make sure that you add all these items, right? First, write the project name, then you add the description of the project, what or summary of the project, what was your role in that particular project. Again, just to stress guys, I've used the word Python again here, right? And then what was the time period I worked in this particular project. You can also add other things like what is the technical stack that is used in this particular project. You can also add team members that were present while you did this project, and more importantly, what was your achievements and what were your tasks, what were your roles and responsibilities in that project. This becomes very important when it comes to project guys, because this will decide what was your role, what was your contribution, right? Only writing description will not help the interviewer in anything. This area will give a clear cut information about how much you were involved in it. Did you do requirement gathering, gather requirement, or were you involved in design process development testing, you were involved in implementing new modules, you were involved in handling databases, did you do any API implementations, right? Moving on guys, if you have done any certification, you can mention that. Again, since I was a person in this resume, clearly going to something like a Python, I repeated Python here, the Python word came here, again the Python came here, right? So it kind of stresses that I'm good in Python, I am interested in Python, right? So any other certification that you've done, you can mention here. And then finally you can write some personal information about yourself. It could be these, it could be something else. Language known, hobbies, your date of birth, your gender, nationality. Yeah, a few people asked, should I mention my parents' name? No, it's really not required. Should I mention your address? Well, you can mention, but it is not of any significant importance here in this particular resume. This is all about you showcasing what you have done, what you have achieved in your career, as well as your project work. Now, this is a simple resume that I created in less than 7-8 minutes for a fresher, displaying all the possible information that is necessary. And I am not a jack of all. I have been very specific with respect to Python, so it's clear to the interviewer that I'm looking for a Python kind of a role. Now, what happens when an experienced person comes in? What changes in this, right? So one thing that gets changed is your educations. When you're an experienced person, what matters more is your entire summary of that years of experience that you have done at that particular time, right? So I'll just pick this up and push it down to the later format, maybe just before personal information, if I am an experienced person, right? Let's say I am a 1-year experienced guy and I want to give a summary. So my objective can remain still because it still holds value. Maybe this entry level work will be moved to, say, just work experience, and then I would want to write a section called summary, where I can add more details about what I have achieved in 1 year. What I had done was I had some pointers that I had copy pasted earlier, which I'll just utilize now and paste here. And this will give a clear picture of me having 1 year experience as a software developer, and me working in things like ERP, PyCharm, Python again to highlight. I have involved in MVC architecture. So this is one good thing wherein you highlight the keywords, which will give a clear picture to the interviewer that you are aware of what you're talking, and for them it is easy to pick these words and ask relevant questions to you, right? So this is how experience profile comes into picture. This internship gets replaced by work experience, and if you worked on multiple projects, you can just copy this section, and maybe this becomes project 1, and then if you worked on multiple projects, you just paste it and say project 2. Remember one thing guys, your first project will come at the end, your latest project will come here, right? So it should be in descending order of what you have done, but make sure you capture all these subsections that is present over here, especially the achievements and the tasks, right? Now this is how you prepare of experience resume. In fact, you can even remove this entire thing and you can only put your latest degree. That is, you completed Bachelor of Engineering of Computer Science and you scored 9.2 CGPA. That alone is also sufficient, right? Now, this is one great way of preparing a resume wherein you have captured all the important information as well as make sure that you capture keywords which is very relevant for any searching in the job portals, right? Now, one another interesting thing I would also like to mention is a one-page resume. Now we have a sample of a one-page resume wherein again whatever I covered there, same things are mentioned here, but it is well packed into one single page. Now there is no hard and rule saying that this is a perfect way of putting a resume or that is a perfect way of putting a resume. Only good thing about this format is you will save one page, right? And it's more compactable in nature wherein everything is present in one page itself. So you can achieve that. This is your aim and objective section. This is your skill set section wherein I've made it a little more interesting and given a rating in that where it shows I'm more interested in designing and JavaScript activities, right? I've mentioned what certification I've done. I've mentioned my internship experiences, and then on the other side I've mentioned my education information. I've mentioned the projects that I've done. This could be my hobby project, my college project, something that I've done on my own or anything, right? But what's important is, right, I write more about what were my achievements and what were my goals. And one more thing that we did not have there is extracurricular activities. If you are a person who have done additional activities in your college life, or you took part in some competitions, you took part in some college fest activities or paper presentations, for example, you can add all those things. Yeah. So this is how in a simple way you can prepare your resume, guys. And lastly, like I always tell to all my students and everyone who look for guidance from me, opportunities are many, but are you prepared for it? Okay guys, with this I end my talk. Thank you so much for your support and all the help that you've been giving me. If you are looking for any particular video, please feel free to comment us below and we will try to make a video on that particular topic. Lastly, like I always say, please kindly share the video to a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are not sure what needs to be done, how do we need to proceed further. So this could be a lot help for them. And for any queries, feel free to write anything in the comment section. We will definitely reply back. Lastly, again, guys, kindly share the video, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for next video.